Welcome everybody to the September 26th Ortelius architecture meeting. Some of the stuff that we have kind of going on in flight. I had a meeting with Arvin the other day about the doing some work on a Jenkins plugin for showing the scorecard, the vulnerabilities, and the SBOM from inside of Jenkins. I'm going to create a couple issues around that. It looks like we may be able to use, they have something called like an HTML plugin that requires some minimal Groovy on that front, but the concept on that idea is to basically embed some of the Ortelius information into each workflow or job run inside of Jenkins. So it's kind of a work in progress, but I'm going to open up like 2 or 3 issues so we can kind of track what Arvin's doing and help him out through the issues. So Sasha, I'll need you to get with Arvin to help him stand up a Jenkins instance.
Cool. We can do that.
I
already reached out to me.
Yes. I'm talking with Sasha.
All right, cool. And then on the other front, Arvin was doing some work on the UI dashboard layout in Figma with Kate, and I had a preview of it. So why don't you two go ahead and kind of share what you've got so far, and we can kind of talk about it.
Go ahead, Kate. It's your floors now.
So the problem I have right now, Arvin, is I'm literally about now a minute away from my house. So do you want to, I sent it to you, yeah? You can maybe pull it up.
Yeah, let me download it.
No problem. So while Arvin's doing that, pulling up the dashboard layout, there'll be a couple other pieces that we'll have to the dashboard or to the UI design. One is going to be the detail screens, how we're going to lay out the boxes on that front. So if you go into a component version details, how to lay that out. And the other one will be the list view, what the list view is going to look like. But initially we're going to, it's going to be like 3 different layouts that we're going to be tackling, and dashboard happened to be the first one since it made the most sense to really hammer out the landing page, what it's going to look like. You find it, Arvin?
Yes. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
Does my screen is visible?
Yep. We're looking at the Ortelius dashboard PPT.
Yes. Yeah, Kate, can you explain it now?
Kate may or may not be. She may be, I think she may have dropped off to...
I am, yes, I'm here and I'm pulling up my computer right now.
All right, no problem.
So, but I can talk about what's on the screen.
Awesome.
So one of the things that, so I did, like this was my job, was dashboarding vulnerabilities and etc. And so when I spoke to, so there's a few things that I think we need to tackle. And that is that we all are looking and have been for over a decade, if not almost 2, around a single pane of glass, PANE. And with that being said, I noticed that when I would present the dashboard, and I don't like the circles. Somebody else I was working with really likes circles. I don't like circles. I like more of the rectangular boxes. But I was realizing while talking to like C-level people that they needed something super easy. You work with so many different types of people that have varying degrees of what they're able to address, that in so doing, like there had to be one place that everybody could go and then go and drill down further. And so that's what you will see. And I'm just going to log into my computer at the same time.
No problem.
So the customers don't like red. And we also had to think about people who are colorblind, which I never really thought about before, not being, colorblind. And so I also started to work with that. But the throughout my time, the other thing that I noticed is there were three questions that consistently was asked of me from a cybersecurity point of view that I think and know that goes across vertical industries as well as going across the groups, the virtual groups. I have different types of groups, and that is, and it was always the same, and that is, and you'll see the come on, and that is privilege escalation, command and control, and lateral movement, um, and so all right. So anyway, so you'll see boxes for that, and those are like the vulnerabilities. And all right, guys, look like crap, but so when you look at so go go down. So that's why you see those boxes: the privilege escalation, command and control, lateral movement, and malware. On the right hand side was the dashboards. MITRE is a wonderful framework and something that I think that we can continue to build on. Compliance, like we were able to click on compliance and then go into what type of compliance that we're talking about. We have to remember industries are not only SOX and PCI, HIPAA. Like we should be able to go into one area. And so if I'm an auditor, I know like right now that showing is green for compliance. I should be able to go in there and say, these are the different types of compliance. Because when you're going through audits, one of the areas that will be important is the idea of being able to track not only for your team, not only for other auditors, but also for the board. And then down below, this was in regards to different type of plant. I have physical plant entities. That can be any sort of environment that can be like an office type of idea. Any sort of new user accounts, new devices, configuration changes, vulnerabilities. That really does come in from a even from an application level. So if you go down, somebody's poor dog, I hear a dog, I hear a dog that desperately wants to be petted. um, so um, so then those are some of the extra dashboards, like why is this red? And if you keep going down, these like, so you would click on and this is what you would see. So if you go down to MITRE, Arvin, those were some.
Oh, I see how. So you drill in, then you get the like more of the numeric metrics.
Right.
If we go back up to the circle level, just one right there, any of those. So for like the miter ICS being yellow,
Mhm.
could we do to get around the colorblind and accessibility? Could we do a percentage?
Yeah.
So do like a 80%, or and then like privilege escalation. I don't know which way it would be,
Yeah.
how you would say good is, good being 100% or good being 0%. You know what I mean?
Sure. And if you go all the way to the end almost, because I started to sort of play like, could we do like gauges,
Hmm.
like if you go down to like number 27, Arvin, or I think maybe like page number 27. So those are more metrics. Keep going. Where I had the gauges, where I had all the gauges. Okay, go the other way. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
You're like, what are you talking about, Kate? Keep going. Keep going. Gosh, should I take them out? Huh. I
This
like
is
the
really cool.
rectangles. I like
The rectangle one's nice. I like that one.
Yeah.
It'll lay out really easy.
Yeah, I like that one a lot better. And I wonder here, you can even just stay here. With that, with the rectangles, like if you could do it like a temperature gauge
Yep.
type of idea, and I think that would give you a better indicator, because like one of the things that we were playing with is that if an event came in, did we want it, so when you're dealing like, I was dealing with a nuclear reactor. And so for that, I was making it red and green, because if there was an issue, there was no green. But when I was dealing with other places, there was definitely areas I thought, well, we could just make this more gauge like, and depending on the severity of the vulnerability, which could come from, CVSS,
Hmm.
CVE, we could say, your environment has, 1,000 devices, and out of the 1,000 devices, there are 800 that are possibly impacted. So, you start to put in a scoring system
Right.
into these boxes.
That's what I was thinking, because we would be measuring against, um, so let's take, like lateral movement, for example, that we could have out of like you said, our 1,000 projects, we could have 950 of them that are good, and then we have 50 of them that we have to take a look at, that may be affected by lateral movement. So I think we'll have, because we're looking at it at such a an aggregation of data, that we won't have, it'll never be green. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be one group that just isn't on board yet,
right.
that will cause it to never be purely green. So I think because we're aggregating so many things together, I think, like you said, I like the temperature gauge idea, or the gauge with the percentage. You're
Yeah.
at three quarters, whatever, at that level. I think those are two great ideas.
So if you use something related to percentage, that creates an opportunity for a given user to say, oh, green means we are at 90% satisfactory, where someone else may say green means it has to be 95%.
No, so we came across that, Tony. And what I would tell you, what I would tell people is that we're going to have basically you have a math equation that will tell you because you have to base it on risk. You have to, the risk of the asset. You have, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into the equations. And when I was talking to customers, there, you definitely want to do it based on basically based on risk, not only risk of the vulnerability, but risk of the device or of the application of the, whatever we are addressing. Um, it definitely is based on a true metric system, not just, oh, this is how I feel.
Okay, yeah, again, my point here though is for any given area we're measuring, a user organization will want to say, this is the level I care about, not that level, or vice versa. So tunability matters.
Yeah, and we could. Well, the percentage will be the percentage. It's just the coloring of the percentage that we'd have to um, uh, somehow allow users or groups to customize at a level.
Right.
Like
Because they're,
customers
yeah,
hate
go
red.
ahead.
They just hate red. And so it's almost like it's like, okay, I have to get rid of red. And it seemed to be across the board that customers hate red. So so it's almost like, you know, it, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to motivate somebody, make it red. It's true. We are we are that model. Orange, I could get away with. I could put it off till next week. But red, I gotta get rid of now.
Maybe we should change it to an animation of a steamroller, just coming across the screen.
Or a fire.
Yeah, or a fire. Yeah.
I think based on some of the different widgets out there, I think we can accomplish both
Yeah.
the conveyance of urgency as well as providing a metric.
Yeah.
And I'll have to look at I'll have to think about how we can custom tailor the color coding per user.
We have to be careful because I remember, I'll never forget, a person, it was when I worked with IBM, Tony, and the person he was a CISO, and he said to me, I hate you guys. I hate IBM because you come in and you say, oh, look at all these configurations. I don't want configurations. I want you guys to tell me exactly the way it is. And so I do think we have to be careful. I mean, as engineers, as people who love getting into this, we really have to be careful because you want this ease of use. At the end of the day, and this is what the person said. At the end of the day, I want to be able to grab a person off the street, and put on like an Amazon like type of shopping cart or Amazon type of of experience. So while yes, I think some configuration is important, at the end of the day, as we do a cross section of people, we want to make sure that we don't make it so complicated that they're not going to they're going to become frustrated and walk away.
You're absolutely right about that, Kate. IBM loved complexity.
Yeah.
And the assumption, and I speak as a guy who built products at IBM, was there would be an army of consultants that would show up and take
Right.
care of everything for $750,000.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there should be useful defaults. This is what we think means red. But it should be simple to say, oh, instead of 90%, you want to move the needle to 95%. There should be a fairly simple way to do that.
And I think the first pass that we should color code things, default them to what people expect. So MITRE has a whole color coding and was it
That's
the
a
other
great-
one, NIST and stuff like that. So if we take those percentages and people are used to looking at MITRE and follow how they color code percentages, I think we'll get a lot of mileage out of that, because we're not creating color coding that's outside of somebody's or well-known reference point.
That's a good point.
And I think there's a couple out there that we could look at. I know, I can't remember if it's the CVE database. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, CVSS,
That's-
Common Vulnerability Security Scoring, CVSS.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
also,
that one has a color coding in it, I believe.
yeah. Yep, there you go. CVS score. Nice job, Marvin. Yes.
Where to go now?
Yeah, the calculator is the one that you use. You throw in a string, and it will come back and tell you all how things are applying.
Yeah.
So I have to click reset, or I have to.
No, it already did it for you. Oh, it doesn't look like it has the score in the breakdown. So, but at the end of the day, it ends up giving you the
Plus,
output that you can work with.
this look weird.
So that's just these calculators are how to take the vulnerability, the CVSS string, and interpret it and change it into something meaningful that you can actually work from. I don't know if go to examples. See what's in the example. Keep going down. Yeah, so those are some of the example strings and how they break out. They've been evolving this over the years. So they've been adding more pieces to the string. That's why version 4 is so much longer than version 2.
And I think, yeah.
Yes.
And
That
and
looks
also they use words. You see it there. They use wording as well. So I'm trying to remember for this one. It's low, medium, high, and critical, I think, are the 4 scoring categories. And those kind of break out into the 4 colors. Actually, a
Should I
fifth one
open
would be none. It's not going to go anywhere. You can open it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to take you to the spec.
Yeah. This looks boring.
But what's nice about the CVSS is they've been collecting vulnerabilities since, I was going to say before time, but for a really long time. How about that?
Yeah, I think they started in the 80s.
Yeah, for a super long
So
time.
that means they've got CVEs from the Atari gaming system.
I think that one is actually recorded at some point.
They've been around a long time.
There is another one. I can't remember one of the gaming. It could have been the Atari or something like that, but they actually have the fix that you can actually go in and edit the binary to fix one of the problems with, I think, like Zelda or something like that.
I thought I was joking. Wow, that's amazing.
One of the games, somebody figured out took the code, recompiled it, and then figured out how to do a binary patch,
Wow.
which we used to do on the
That's
mainframes
incredible.
all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Kate, I saw that you had on the meeting chat something about animation. What's your
Sasha put that in.
oh,
And
oh
yeah,
what's your thoughts on that?
I, I love that type of stuff. I think it's cute. But yeah. So before you go, go down one to number 15, Arvin. Um, one more. Sorry. Okay, maybe two more. There.
One more.
Yeah,
There
there
it
it is.
is.
Right there. So, um, what I like
That is correct.
about the animation, so let me just go before you leave here, let me just talk about animation, is I had to work with a group for people who for disabilities, for visual disabilities and things like that, with the dashboard. And the animation helped them, those with some sort of visual disparity of some sort. So that's why I like the animation. It was movement that they saw that helped them to identify that there was a problem. So it's just something to think about.
Okay, interesting. I've never thought of animation in that perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
neither did I. Yeah, and
Tony
that's
inspired me. Tony inspired me when he said shapes. I was like, oh, animation. And I was just in Chile, and they've got the greatest animation for when to cross the road. It's Michael Jackson doing a moonwalk. That's it really is. I'll send you guys. I'll put a photo in the Discord channel. You'll see. It's Michael Jackson doing a moonwalk when you can cross the road.
Well, Sasha, everybody in the world calls them stoplights except for you guys, which you want to call them robots for some reason.
Yeah, we weird, man. I know. I agree. We weird.
I don't know how you get a robot out of that when you want to go across the street.
I don't know either. I agree with you. It's weird.
um,
Maybe a Terminator will come.
Yeah.
so I was when I was talking with Arvin about this. So for a C-level person, like, this is just like means nothing to them. It's like, yeah, no, this becomes too complicated. But for people who are more engineering backgrounds, we look at this and like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So we need to I think that front pane needs to
Yeah.
be very, you know,
So, Arvin, bring up your Figma for what you got so far.
I was going to
I
say
have
that this
to.
is such a cool presentation. So nice to see what it could look like, right?
I'll send it to you, Sasha. Okay.
It's super cool, man. Wow.
So go
It
ahead,
looks like tangible.
zoom in a little bit on 5.
Yeah, that's also wonderful. If you want, I can slide so doesn't.
I don't know if that did what you wanted it to do.
Yes, yeah.
Just stay there. So this is more of the metrics based. And like Kate, you're saying we may need to have one level higher than this one. That is
Yeah.
like the rectangles at that level. And then you can go down a level.
Yeah. You should have, I think we should have something for compliance. We should have something like a board level type of, hey, this vulnerability just came out. Are we okay?
Right.
And then we should have an engineering level where it's like, where it shows like, really you can do like this deep dive malware,
Yeah.
you know.
So I think I'm going to put it out to the group if we can take this kind of offline onto Discord or through some method that we figure out what the maybe the 3 or 4 or whatever, however many high level that it ends up. I totally agree that like compliance um, is one of the good ones. Maybe like our posture would be another one, and then like you said, engineering would be another one. But along those lines, the high level, I don't know what you call them, categories. Is that
Yeah,
a correct way
yeah,
to think of it?
yeah. I mean, um, well, TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. Is that too technical? I like
Probably.
the reason why I like it is because from a cybersecurity point of view, we talk about things from a TTP perspective.
Yeah,
It's a very common type of, and that goes across the board, right? It goes across board.
yeah.
Applications, databases, and stuff like that.
Because I know when I looked at like MITRE, you get into their world, and it's a huge number. I think there's like over 600 um, possible what they've identified as possible attack vectors or something like that. Um, but then they categorize them into bigger groups. So they'll take all the string injections, whether it's going to be for a web page or for a database, and they kind of group them together at that level. So I think we should come up with, the half 4 to 6 categories on how we want to have the base level navigation, and I totally think compliance is a good one to start with, and probably like you're saying, Kate, what, and I call it posture. What is our current risk posture um, that we need to look at? Um, so that's what I'd like to throw out to the group to kind of to tackle is what those categories could be, and then from there we can go into the next level down. So like this one would be kind of like the engineering, a possible engineering viewpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
I like us to have. I'm sorry, Arvin, please go ahead. Is it Arvin?
yeah, I just want to say that since I am presenting these, can all of you just take a look and let me know which one of these we need in Figma so that I can create a Figma design for the next meeting.
It would be the Figma that we would work with is the rectangle one. So go, what was it, like slide 6?
Yeah, let me start with the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This
No,
one.
keep going down. It was
The
where was it?
rectangle.
Keep going down. You'll see it. It's the green and red rectangles. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
There it is.
So line 18.
Yeah. So slide 18. So if you could copy that slide and drop it into Discord and say we need to fill out what we want our boxes to be.
Yeah. So I do like the threat landscape.
Mhm.
And now in thinking about this threat landscape, it's better than TTPs, right? Because people aren't going to understand TTP. I mean, it's not that they can't understand, it's just threat landscape, everybody understands. And that's what you want. You want universal language that everyone can understand across the world. So the threat landscape, those boxes, like I would keep threat landscape, and I wonder if those boxes, those 4 boxes, malware. I think malware is really good. Maybe we make one vulnerabilities. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I think possibly vulnerabilities would be another one that to move up into the threat landscape. Um,
Um, Common attack
Uh,
vectors, or is that too big?
or I
I
can,
I think attack vector would go into the plant view.
Okay.
The reason why I'm thinking like the attack vector is the plant view is kind of like what I view as the runtime environment.
Hmm.
So in Ortelius, we know what the runtime environments are. When somebody deploys, they tell us what they deployed where. So we know what's running where. So that's kind of like what I would put into the plant view world. And then we could break out um,
Do we?
possible
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
possible things at that level would be um, like what mitigations are in place or something along those lines. I'll have to think about it more.
Well, I wonder, instead of physical plant view, um, yeah, or
I would probably change that to the environment view.
yeah, environment view. I like that.
It's a little more abstract instead of physical.
Yeah, I like that environment view. And then maybe the dashboards, we do it based on um, compliance, board level or C level or something like that. Um, like C level, board level, and then engineer level or something.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would do. Like you said, I like compliance. The other one definitely would be the like engineering. I don't know if we call it engineering, but something along those lines. And then maybe another one around.
Can you do something like sort of like geek level
Yeah, we could
or
just go.
nerd
We,
level or
yeah, we could have. I mean, it's really going into the roles that we want to address, and I think we would keep it to 2 to 3 roles. Maybe like a board level, a security level, like a CISO, and then an engineering level. Or just skip the board
do we
level and
read?
just do sys in maybe a group level. I've seen a lot of other products have these group levels, and then from the group, then you have the individual more engineering deep dive.
I think we can make this a journal for everyone, the CISO and the engineers. And for the engineers, just give them the option to deep dive. So when they click on it, it will take them to a separate page. Or for all of these, in the right side, we can create a open page button or detail view button.
Yeah,
So at
each
the
one of these would be drill downs, definitely.
Mhm.
at the board level, people will want to say, here are the criteria we must meet, which may be from external regulators or internal policies. And for security, how am I doing on that?
I feel like when talking to board level people, Tony, they've only they've asked just 2 questions. Are we okay? Are we safe? Are we secure? That's what they ask. Are we secure? And it was a yes or no. Um, and it seems that mean time to glossy eye was maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. So I feel like there has to be like, yes, we are based on, yes, we are, here's the percentage, and give them a percentage.
Mhm. I think that's
Because-
very reasonable. I think some of the things they will ask are, you know, are the regulators going to show up and say bad things to us? So part of your criteria is
Compliance.
understanding your compliance with external regulation.
Well,
Not all of that by any means is security, though.
yeah,
some of
so
those will be have people reporting to those. I would like to
yeah,
echo Kate. Because sorry, Stevia, because I know my CIO used to be just tell me it's good or bad. If it's bad, then
Yeah, good
you
or
go
bad.
take care of it. You look at the detail, all right. But if it's good, well, let's move on. So that's all they care.
and I think Jin's on the correct path that I don't think board people will be looking at this. I think the board people have other folks that will need to look at it to give a summarized report because there will be things that will need to be pulled together that we just don't have access to. Project planning data, budget, all those things. So I think we should leave board off of it and focus at like the CISA level, maybe an auditor and then an engineering.
No, I
The
think
only
that's a very good way to think about it.
it is. The only thing is that I remember so much being asked. I I want a button to be able to click and send to the board people. Like this is where we're at. Click. I don't know if there's something like we could do. Just it would be super popular. Like that in itself, a one-click view of this is what we're talking about in big picture Garanimals type of,
And I think the person producing that and actually creating that report would be somebody like the CISA officer or this, that uh, somebody that has is going to have a pretty good concept of what security is about.
yeah.
And that they would be the person pressing that button to generate, and because what they're going to do is they're going to go through and review everything, um, and at that level, and then once they're happy with the way the data looks, then they're going to press the big red button to say go.
Or maybe it's green, not red. Just joking.
Yeah.
What if
Maybe a
like they
temperature
want
gauge is good for them, right? To see if it's getting hotter or colder, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
Robin. Like, how are we doing? Well, we're kind of warm, you know. Hot is bad, Or maybe you should take something from, I don't know, in America, what do you have? Like super spicy. Spicy's bad. Super hot, super cold. I don't know.
There you go. Being in New Mexico, that should work with you
Yeah,
guys,
we'll do
right?
the chili rating.
Right.
Always,
I
yeah,
like
exactly.
it.
A chili type rating, exactly like that, but
Love it.
for security. My taco's so hot, I almost like melted my tongue. My security's so hot right now. I really need to do something bad about it, right? Or I need some. We need to take some action. Yeah.
I like it.
Or,
I
think
can
or,
do
you,
one thing.
or you could do the alien attack, whether you're going to have
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
a bunch of flying saucers after you or just one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're being hounded by a squadron, or you've only got like one or two. Yeah,
Or we can do one thing. When someone click on this red button, there will be an emoji, something like it's so hot, it's so hot.
Yep. So Arvin, if you could cut and paste this into Discord and this page, and we'll start tossing around ideas on Discord. Throw it into the general channel, and we'll start doing a conversation there just to get started.
Yeah, after the meeting, I will post this screenshot along with the Figma. I will create the Figma for these only. So when you want to try something, you can go directly and edit the Figma design also.
Perfect. And then we'll just in the next week or so we'll toss around how we can what we can put into these boxes and some of the terminology.
Yes.
You probably use
There's also,
the chili. Oh, sorry, Alvin.
there's also one more design that I want to put, like these. This one.
Yeah, that is
If you
more
want,
that one gets into the detailed design of like a component. So I don't think we're there yet to tackle that one. I'd rather get the other. I don't want to spread people too thin.
okay, then we will start with the rectangle one, the 18.
Yep. Let's just start simple. Does that sound like a plan to everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, so we expect to see everybody on Discord
All right.
making comments.
I already made
Yeah.
too many. Sorry, Steve.
And if someone don't like red, I can make this button pink.
Make it a hot pink.
Yes.
Could you use the
Barbie.
same? You could use a chili thermometer for finances too. Like, how expensive is this CVE, right? It's like, oh man, if we don't fix this, you know,
Yep.
instead of
Yep.
like $1 million could be okay. $1 million is nothing, I know, but like if it's getting nearer the million, then you know it's getting really, or even just the red, right?
Like
Yeah,
I do
so like
wonder what Sasha's saying. I mean, is there a universal language like Chile
yeah,
that is global? I mean, from India to, Thai to, I mean,
yeah,
I sort of wonder. I mean, I know that we're sort of joking, but maybe it's
It is a
yeah. Because people,
possibility.
everyone gets it, right? If your food's too spicy, it's too hot. It means, I need to drink some water or take some milk. If it's not spicy enough, then some people it's okay.
I mean, does it work in the Middle East? Does it work in like,
Yeah. It's universally cultural. Yeah. Thanks, Kate. Yeah, you put it into cohesive language.
All right, guys, I gotta drop. I gotta get on another call.
all right.
Cool. No worries. This is
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.